Yo, what's up, people? What's up? What the business is? You heard it's your boy, Young Spider Loke, back with another installment of the Check Down, where we check down on the best available waiver wire pickups of the week. You feel me? And this week, it's kind of crazy, right? It's playoff situations. There's quarterbacks that might or may not be coming back. We got injuries. We got waiver wire stashes of the week. And we also got people who are going under the radar that you might not be too focused on, but you need to be, man. This is the check down, man. Check it out. Yes, sir, man. First I want to talk about this Bills versus Houston game. The Houston versus the Buffalo Bills, doc. That game was pretty chaotic for Josh Allen fans and owners. If you started him like I did, you believed in him. But you knew what you were going up against. But you believed in him. An elite quarterback getting sacked that many times, picked off, and just struggling like that in the backfield, he was looking like a rabbit or a rat being chased by a bunch of cats. You know what I'm saying? He just couldn't get it popping. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. But at least he's not injured at the end of that. He had an injury scare, none the least. But he's not going to end up in that check down graveyard like somebody who I'm introducing right now. Enter the chat, people. Yes, indeed, man. Y'all know what it is, man. It's the check down graveyard where humans, football players, go to be unalive, man. We got Jaden Daniels. We got Cam Scatterboo, Najee Harris, Malik Neighbors. We got Tucker Kraft and James Conner. And I know what y'all gonna say, bro. Joe Burrow, huh? Why is Joe Burrow there? Well, there's only one reason why he's there, man. Because I haven't heard any reports of him coming back. So until I hear the report and it's in stone, he will be in stoned in this here graveyard. You feel me? But right now we're going to talk about Michael Penix Jr. because he's the new guy. He's a new guy who has arrived. This one is heartbreaking, people. Heartbreaking, especially for Falcons fans. Let's talk about it, dude. Michael Penix tore his left ACL in week 11, and that officially ends his season. You know what I mean? He had roughly through week 11, man, he had 1,982 passing yards, 9 TDs, and 3 interceptions. Just look at it, bask in it. He had a hopeful season that everybody was looking forward to seeing how far he was going to take the Falcons, trying to understand, like, is this guy who they say he was when they draft him? But, just because Michael Penix is gone, right, it doesn't mean if you're in deeper fantasy leagues, like, dynasty leagues, he's a great IR stash. You feel me? He'll be back approximately August 2026. So keep him, you feel me? But if you're in a redraft type of situation, you need to drop him, you feel me? Kirk Cousins, on the other hand, because of, Michael Penix's injury and him being gone, it makes a perfect setup, right, for Kirk Cousins. And yeah, Kirk Cousins, I know what you guys are going to say about Kirk Cousins, right? He hasn't been the same guy. He's been struggling. But honestly, I believe that Kirk Cousins has actually been struggling because he's kind of butthurt. You got to think about it, man. This young kid, Michael Penix, took his spot, right? took his spot and has been leading the Atlanta Falcons. Now, they traded for Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins thought he's going to be that guy. He hasn't had his opportunity, man. But now he has his opportunity. Now, Kirk Cousins is the #1 quarterback until the end of the season, man. He's in the spotlight now, and he immediately becomes a fantasy asset, in my opinion. If you listen to all the he blue and who high, then you're not going to pick him up. I would definitely pick him up if you don't have a quarterback and you need one. Now, is he someone that's high on my radar? Nah, but he's someone you need to grab if you need someone to fill that position. You know what I'm saying? It's very important that you realize that you're picking up these people for more than one reason. Yeah, Drake London is gone. He was the #1 receiver, right? But if you watch football, you know that Kirk Cousins and Drake London really never develop any chemistry together, and this is why. Injuries. Drake London gets hurt a lot, right? So enter the chat Darnell Mooney. You feel me? Darnell Mooney and Kirk Cousins are almost like best friends. I thought they were cousins or something at one point, because when they're together and Darnell Mooney is the #1 and Kirk Cousins is the quarterback, they go for each other. And not only is Kirk Cousins one of those big play type of quarterbacks, he's always looking for the big play. Darnell Mooney, that's what he's known for. You feel me? Big plays. That's what he wants. He was injured going into the season, but now he's back, and I think he's going to start bubbling at the right time. I think Kirk Cousins, and now that he's in charge of that offense, will now bubble up, and he will show you guys who he is and why he is. You feel me? So Kirk Cousins, add him. Darnell Mooney, add him. And when you add them, watch what they're going to do. Just watch it. Stay tuned, man. So if you have other options, of course, better options to pick up, then go ahead and choose those options. But if you're in a tight situation where you got to win out and you got to do things to succeed, I feel like these two guys are prime right now, man. They're on a team who's trying to get into the playoffs. They have hope still. Even though hope is fading, they still have hope. So Michael Penix is out. Enter Kirk Cousins, man. Going on, man. We're going to go on to another injured player that might need to be picked up eventually due to, he doesn't need to be picked up. He might need to be dropped or stashed, because when you're playing injured and you're a running back, it's kind of hard for you to continue to be on that upward bound, right? So with no Jaylen Warren, the most liable handcuff in this situation would have to be Kenneth Gainwell, right? And this one deserves some like storytelling here, right? Here's the breakdown, right? Warren is banged up, right? And Gainwell has the juice now. And the Steelers, they're desperate for playmakers. So if Gainwell is out there for you guys, I feel like Gainwell will be an excellent flex stash, right? He has sneaky upsized wide receiver 2 capabilities if Warren misses some time. Now, will Warren miss time? I don't know. We heard this last week that Warren might miss some time, but he was out there and he was doing his thing. He was doing his thing and he was doing it well. You feel me? Pause. And if you're in a league, deeper leagues where you have room to stash players and keep them stashed. I know I talked about Gainwell like week 10 and week 9, but a lot of you guys haven't picked him up. He's owned in only 40% of all Yahoo fantasy leagues. Not sure about sleeper leagues, but he's available and he's willing and ready to help out, man. His stats, not that good, Kenneth Gainwell, but as for someone who's a backup, it's pretty solid. You know what I mean? 789 yards, 5 TDs, like 10 to 6 yards per carry most of the time. Prime setup for someone who is a solid #2 running back, man. So get him, plug him in, and play him if Warren sits. You want to make sure that he is sitting. At the time of this recording, my guy was questionable, and he had limited participation in practice. So you want to work these people into your lineup a certain way, like Warren. Make sure you find out if Warren is hurt before you even think about starting my man. All right. Moving on, man. We're gonna move on to the next person. I'm sorry, I might be moving real fast or a little fast, but you know how it is, man. Your boy got stuff to do. You heard, but it's another person that got stuff to do. People are sleeping right now, like sleeping on the Arizona Cardinals and Jacoby Brissett. Dude, it looks like Tom Brady 2.0 or something. It looks like Tom Brady jumped into his skin and just started playing football. And as a result, man, there are some wide receivers that we need to talk about going off rip, bro. Michael Wilson, wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this dude is not just a pickup, right? He's one of the best Week 12 standout wide receivers in all of fantasy football. You feel me? No Harrison, no problem. You feel me? Wilson stepped right up into the wide receiver one vacancy and delivered a statement game. Not just volume, dominating volume. A target hog. You feel me? Alpha energy out there. You don't forget, right, about a position like that, right? A position, a wide receiver that does things like this, man. Look at his stats on the screen. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely a wide receiver one while Harrison is out. You know what I'm saying? And the Cardinals are in throw to survive mode every single week. You feel me? Garbage time. This is the cleanup, man. You feel me? Michael Wilson and garbage time are best friends right now because that man Jacoby Brissett is going to air it out every time. You know. If he's on your wire right now, you grab this man. Pause. You grab him with pride and you hold on to him and you prepare to play him if Marvin Harrison Jr. is out. Even if he isn't out, I would still play him because he showed that he is a reliable option, you man. And right now you need reliable players that are going to give you points. You don't need fair weather players like hope and play. Like you want plug and play. You feel me? And that brings me to my next person. You know, we're going to stay right here in Arizona, man. And we're going to go to Greg Dortch now. Now, because Arizona is throwing the ball so much, you know what I'm saying? They're producing like these breakout fantasy player performances right now. And Greg Dortch is Mr. Energy. Mr. Give me 5 targets and I'll give you heart and hustle. My guy plays with grit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the stats back it up. 21 catches for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns through week 11. This is a guy who always pops when the Cardinals get thin at receiver. And right now, Harrison's absence pushes Dortch directly into the spotlight. You gotta respect that, man. Is he a wide receiver 2 or 3? No, he's probably a wide receiver 4, you know. But in deep leagues, you can stash him because he has boom potential, you feel me? And his targets will climb with Harrison out. They're going to share that ball. They're going to sprinkle it around like Salt Bae. You feel me? And they're going to keep on sprinkling it around because they're trying to make their way into the playoffs, man. Everyone is. It's time to eat. It's time to go. It's no time to play. It's only time to do things and produce. Be productive. If you're not about that, then you're probably not going to win. I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. If you're hoping that you're gonna plug some people in, they're gonna do you some justice, it's probably not the best thing for you right now. You know what I mean? So you want to pay attention to these injuries, man, and that brings me to Green Bay right now. You feel me? So Green Bay, there's a player there who is very dependable, Josh Jacobs, but again, he's a running back and he's playing injured. So you best believe that the coach doesn't want to risk their main running back being injured. So as a handcuff contingency plan, enter Emmanuel Wilson. Emmanuel Wilson is he's one of those, like, look guys, listen. Josh Jacobs is the starter, no question. But Emmanuel Wilson is the type of player who becomes a league winner if something happens to the starter. He runs angry, he runs hard, he runs with purpose. And on top of that, the Packers organization trusts the kid more every week. You feel me? He's a premium handcuff right now. Premium. With actual standalone pop value. In deeper leagues, you should stash him right now before someone else does. You need to get on it. You feel me? And injuries is going to keep him ahead of the depth chart right now. Double-digit carries week 11. Frequently used in the passing game. Very reliable when it comes to the pass game. And down the stretch, he could be that number one if they keep trying to drill Josh Jacobs into the ground, bro. In my opinion, they've been like running dude too hard, dude. Like, Jordan Love got to be more creative and more crafty, man. Like, people can't, like, depend on my man to throw the ball, unfortunately, bro. Like, nobody trusts that, you know what I'm saying? But he does have the potential to throw. If he's more patient in the pocket and more intelligent at his decision making, yeah, man, I would let him live in the pocket, bro. But as of late, Jordan Love has been struggling, man. He's been struggling, and the run game has not benefited from it because the other team knows they're going to run the ball. But as soon as they get some balance on both sides, I feel like they'll be able to pop. Right now, the only thing popping in Green Bay is Christian Watson. You know what I'm saying? And Jordan Love, yeah, he passes him the ball, but I mean, as fantasy value is concerned, Christian Watson, to me, is more valuable than Jordan Love, unfortunately. At least when he catches the ball, he does more yards. But it also depends on how your point system is set up. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. So next player, man. Next player is very, very interesting to me, right? And I know you guys, listen, man. There's a guy in Cleveland right now that's about to get his chance, man. No, I'm not going to say I told you guys to pick up Shedeur Sanders like week 3. I didn't believe in any of the quarterbacks that were before him or that were playing before him. No, I didn't believe in them. But now that Shedeur Sanders is there, an actual quarterback who has something to gain. Remember I told you guys, people that got something to play for, nothing to lose, they end up becoming dynamic. I believe in Shedeur Sanders. I'm just going to be honest. He never had a chance to practice with the first team. Yeah, he might lose this game, but I feel like he will play good. And because he plays good, I believe that one person will benefit from that good play. Cedric Tillman, people, of the Cleveland Browns, wide receiver. Why do you need to add him, man? He led the team in targets last week. He has a good size, a vertical threat, and he's available in most leagues at the moment. Right now, Cedric Tillman, I feel, has upside because he hasn't had a quarterback to throw the ball. Yes, their offense is terrible, but you can say that because Cedric Tillman has been hurt. He's always been the number one in my eyes. And I feel like he hasn't had a potential to do what he wants to do. You feel me? His route percentage is very high. His targets are high and reliable. And his downfield usage is pretty solid. You know what I mean? So Tillman is the classic. Nobody's talking about him on a waiver wire pickup. And that's how you got to get the fantasy titles in your pocket. You got to look at things like this. You got to look at people who are going to have a coming of age type of situation, the people who will benefit from Shedeur Sanders, man. And I feel like Cedric Tillman and Fannin this week, the tight end, who's like a utility knife, will eat this week. They will eat undeniably, and they will keep on eating because Shedeur Sanders is there. Someone who was born to win, someone who was born to play football. Now, am I going to start Shedeur Sanders? Nah. Am I going to start Cedric Tillman? Nah, because I'm not crazy, man. I got to see what they bring to the table first, man. I believe in them, yeah, but that's a different thing. Belief in what you know they can do. When there's so many question marks about Shedeur, who knows? I could just be blinded by, some blind belief, which happens. You feel me? But like I said, man, Shedeur Sanders for president, you know what I'm saying? But if you are confused, you know what I'm saying? You don't know if Shedeur Sanders might be a selection for you, or if you don't know that Cedric Tillman, like maybe when they link together, they might not perform like you would as a prop hit, or if you're betting on a team with the over and under, then I got the person for you that might be able to help you out. Check it out. Football is money. Whether you're a diehard fan, fantasy manager, or just in it for the drama, we're here every week to bring you the action and analysis you crave. Plus, don't miss a beat. Follow Football is Money on all social platforms for extra updates and live game insights. Join the team, subscribe today, and let's make every game count on Football is Money. That's right, man. Footballismoney.com. Footballismoney.com has your answers when you're in sticky situations like I just brought up, right? You don't know what you should do. You're kind of lost. My guy, boss, will keep you in the zone and keep you locked in and keep you focused on what is the right play. Player props, under, over, fantasy lineup help. Footballismoney.com has the answers for you. Go check them out. Footballismoney.com. All right, man. Moving on, man. This brings me to the last segment of the week, my favorite, right? The segment in which you guys are here for, right? Y'all want to know who's the hottest pickup. Y'all don't. These other people, yeah, they tight, they cool, whatever. But we want to know who we need to pick up for ahead of time, ahead of schedule. And I've been right on the head every week. Let's just be honest, man. But this is the stash of the week. Stash of the week here is Darnell Washington. He's the tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And my guy is very, very much slept on. You feel me? He's not a high volume tight end, not yet. But, dude, he's reliable. Red zone usage is up. Yards after the catch is up. And if your boy Pat Freiermuth, gets sent to the injured reserve or gets injured, I feel like this guy would be the next person up, man. Some people think it's Juno Smith, but this guy is a human anomaly. Let's be honest, dude. Like, if you watch this guy play, you see what he's capable of. You see what he can do in the future. And if you are in fantasy leagues, dynasty leagues, this guy is someone you need to get right now and stash, even if you don't start him. You feel me? This guy has high upside volume every week. Very, very unpredictable, but the upside, I feel, is what drives the ship, right? That's what you need to look at, is the upside right now. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You're focusing right now on the wins, the W's, not the L's, right? So Darnell Washington is a guy, a gem, and my stash of the week for this week, week 12, the CHECKDOWN fantasy waiver wire. So all these players here today, of course, I got to do my disclaimer. You guys have to understand these players are people that you only pick up if it makes sense. If it makes sense, don't drop key players that are on your lineup because I'm telling you to pick up these people. These are situational players that you pick up and handcuff according to the situation that you're in your fantasy football matchups. You understand? So honor your team and also honor your own decisions and why you're making them. Because there's only one thing that you can do wrong when it comes to fantasy football, and that's to start the wrong person. So make sure you weigh each option. Make sure you look at each matchup. And most importantly, make sure you watch the check down. Like I said, check it out.